This is the Colorado Springs local community. Excuse me, it's morning time. We're having our coffee, and the intent behind this podcast is to provide opportunities for those in the community to talk about maybe grievances in the community. They can promote themselves or their businesses, or anything really that has to do with Colorado Springs. So today, my special guest is Carmen. Now, Carmen is she speaks fluent Spanish, and she's going to school to learn proper Spanish, not just colloquial Spanish. I think I said that right. And she plans to become an interpreter for the courts. So, Carmen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, let's just start off with yourself, right? So, obviously, you're my wife, and we run the AAA Coach business. So, I guess we'll start off with that because our company is all about uh, promoting self self defense and firearms training to the local community.
Right.
And so I guess we'll start off with that. Like, where are you from? Tell our audience like where you're from and how you came about the firearms realm.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. That's where I'm from. And I lived there for the first 41 or 42 years of my life. Never lived anywhere else until I met you. And then my life changed completely. Moving out here, having a family, getting married, and starting a wonderful life with you. But back in Los Angeles, my first experience was with as far as shooting and getting introduced into the shooting realm. Was with my brother Eduardo Maldonado. He is an instructor in Los Angeles, a firearms instructor, and he is the one that introduced me to this gun world.
Right.
I was very afraid to hold a gun in my hand, and let alone to shoot it. I was very intimidated by that thought. But thanks to him and his patience and his motivation, he got me to the range, and I completed my first course. And the second day, I was shooting in a shooting house with a group of people. Now, I didn't continue. I didn't get as much training in LA as I have here with you.
Right.
Right.
Well, we own the
We own the business.
we own the business.
So, moving out here to Colorado and going out to the range with you, even when I was pregnant, going out and shooting shotguns and ARs, pistols, really got me. I think that's the moment where I got really comfortable with firearms. And of course, you're teaching skills and techniques, which were slightly different than my brother's. But I have definitely, I mean, we've been together, almost 6, no, it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
So 6 years of going to the range and just getting comfortable and learning the mechanics of how to use, how a gun works and the proper technique has really helped me a lot. So the fact that now we own a business, I think it's wonderful, and it's slowly growing, and we're hoping for it to grow even more, to get more customers. Like I've said before, you are an exceptional instructor, not because he's my husband. I'm not being biased, but he really is. He is one of a kind. I highly recommend my husband as an instructor.
Well, I appreciate it, but this is about you.
I know.
Now, this is about you. So I really appreciate the kind words, babe. But tell us how afraid, or whatever synonym you want to use, afraid, scared, timid, shy. How was that first experience for you? And what would you tell other females that are wanting to get into the firearms realm, that are like completely just afraid of it?
Yeah, I do remember that moment. Even just driving up to Burrow Canyon, which is where my brother teaches. I was pretty just knowing that I was gonna be there holding a gun in my hand and shooting it for the first time. Just the thought alone had my heart racing. My hands were already cold and clammy. So once we got to the range and we put our gear on, and as we're standing there in front of the target, I was pretty nervous. I was pretty anxious, very shaky, and again, my heart racing, my breathing. I had no idea if I was breathing correctly or not. I'm sure I was holding my breath, and as we learned, breathing is an important factor when it comes to shooting, right?
Right.
So I'm sure that wasn't just none of that was in place. My brother is an excellent instructor too, but the fact that it was my first time, it was very nerve-wracking. And I would say to those people, men or women who are intimidated and afraid of guns, to don't let that get in the way. If you do want to give it an opportunity, just for the experience or because you are genuinely interested in learning how to use a firearm, get out there, get a good instructor, and trust yourself. Once you fire that first shot, it's not that bad. It's actually exhilarating.
Yeah, so
it's an exhilarating feeling.
so we had two customers. We've had several customers in that realm, but two in particular that come to mind are Lorena and Michelle. And same thing, cool, clammy hands. In fact, Lorena seemed a little bit more terrified than Michelle was, but yeah, exactly how you described the way you felt was how I observed Lorena on the range that
I
day.
remember seeing the footage, and it took me back to that first day, that first moment when I shot a gun, and I could completely relate to her. But she did awesome.
Yeah.
So now that we have this business, and I don't get to go out to the range as much as I would want, school, kid. But when I do have the opportunity, there's always room for improvement. Always, just because you go one or take one or two lessons doesn't mean that you're an expert. There's always room for improvement, even for myself, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's everybody.
Yeah, and that's for everybody.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
So I feel that a lot of people sometimes, I'll go take a lesson or two and then, okay, I'm done. I'm good. No, you're not good.
Yeah.
If you really want to get to a point where you feel comfortable with your gun and you're shooting properly and accurately, you have to continue the training for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to my experience, that was my experience. Now I enjoy it, and I look forward to getting better.
Yeah, great. So now let's talk about how comfortable are you now that we're gonna be teaching our little guy here soon. He's 4. He's gonna be 5 later on this year, and most times this is my perception. I don't have any data on this, but I think that most times females are generally apprehensive about allowing their baby to go and shoot at the range and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So if you could maybe think about how you were before firearms training and how you are now when it comes to having Danny, and Danny's going to be shooting soon, and we can get into what we think that looks like when it comes to safety. And I mean, he has to understand, he has to be able to follow directions, and he has to be able to understand the difference between safety and danger and how to mitigate those things as well, obviously with supervision,
Right.
one-on-one training. But can you kind of elaborate on on your thoughts on that? Because we've never really talked about that. We just I'm just like,
That's
hey,
true. We've just kind of commented.
we're gonna start training him here soon. Like, okay, so now this might be a perfect opportunity maybe for some of our listeners to talk about what that looks like for the mother, right? Generally the father's like, yeah, let's go do it, but the mother is generally more concerned than the father is. So
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yeah. 100%. I think the mentality, the way the mother and the father thinks can be slightly different when it comes to certain things, like teaching our kid how to handle a gun, right?
Yeah.
So before, of course, I had a completely different view, right? I thought, yes, guns, can be dangerous, but it's not. It's not the gun, right? That's dangerous. It's the person who's handling the firearm. So my way of thinking has changed in a lot of ways. Now that we have a son who's going to be 5 here soon, and we have guns, in our room, downstairs, and
all locked away, by the way.
all locked away. Exactly.
They're all locked away. We have a strategic
do.
plan for our stuff,
Absolutely.
and they're all locked away. And the only way he can get in is if he has a passcode or a key or something like that.
Absolutely. So we're absolutely responsible and safe about that. I think it's absolutely necessary that we introduce Danny to firearms and how to be safe with them, how it works, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
The guns are part of our lives. So I definitely want Danny to be responsible with it and be safe with it. A lot of times what happens, you see in the news that unfortunately that kids get to guns, and because they were never introduced to it, they might think it's a toy, right? So what do? They first of all, it's not locked. It's just probably in a drawer. It's loaded. And a gun. I'm gonna grab it and point to
Their brother or sister or something like that. Yeah.
With no intentions of harming, but because they were never introduced to it, unfortunate things happen.
Well, I like to equate it to knives, right? The kitchen knife, the everyday common kitchen knife, is on the counter or in the drawer, and those things aren't locked up. And I think our little guy's waking up right now.
He is.
He is. He's coming in here right now. So you guys are gonna get a little taste of him. He's a great guy. Come on in, Bobby. Come on. We're doing a little podcast.
Good morning.
Make sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing a little
Can you
video.
say good morning?
Say good morning.
Look at the camera and say good morning. Good morning.
So I guess with that, we're gonna cut the interview short. We're gonna cut the interview
As
short.
you can see why.
And we'll be back. But we have several guests several guests lined up for you. So if you have an idea for a podcast that we should be doing here in Colorado Springs area, then hold on, buddy. And then just let us know. We want to do this. We want to get out to the community. We want to help businesses, local businesses and such. Oh, Chiquito. It's that morning cough. But we want to help. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. Life never stops. So just we want to reach out to the local community and get things going and providing a resource for those. So anyway, tack out.